I do customer profile, client persona. It actually has multiple meanings, but it's all the same thing. Who's your favorite client? We just talked about shoot. Oh my gosh, your name.
Harry Potter.
Cedric. God, Cedric. Okay, we just talked about Cedric, and ICP for him right now is Utah County, Salt Lake County, and we're talking about a new ICP because they behave differently. So let's talk. Who can we pick on today? Who wants to have their business picked on about ICP and the client journey for their business? Because I think this would be fun to jump into.
I'd love to, just not much to pick on yet.
Okay, I know all three of these guys, and we're gonna do all three together because I think we're gonna dial. I know your avatar really well. Your avatar, I mean, I kind of understand, and yours is so broad.
Mother of a 4-year-old.
Mother of a 4-year-old. Okay, so let's talk about these ICPs for a minute. So we've got Gabby, who has queso. And her queso is so good, but who is that for? We got Cedric, who does HVAC, who's got a few different avatars we're going to talk about. And we got Trey, going after those mothers of 4-year-olds. Okay, so this will be fun. So let's talk about the journey of each one of these as we kind of nail this down. Why is it so important to know who we're targeting? And let's start with Cedric. We talked about Utah County. We talked about SLC. We talked about Wasatch. With queso, we've talked about who do you think is your best buyer?
Anybody who's doing a gathering and wants to entertain.
People that party. Okay.
Meetings are corporations, work meetings, snacks. Anybody having an event of graduation or wedding.
Okay. People that party, people that have meetings, people that have events. Kind of the same thing. Okay. But we're going to twist that in just a minute here. Trey, mothers of 4-year-olds. Okay, that's a great place to start. Now let's go jump back into Cedric for a minute. Cedric, let's talk about each of these profiles of these personas, because this is going to help us create the client journey that we need to for your specific favorite client. Now, one thing I'm going to ask you some specifics. You've been doing this a month now, month and a half. Are you okay sharing how many clients have you onboarded in the last month?
Onboarded
like new clients.
New clients, like that's 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Yeah. Okay. Of those 5 or 6, good job by the way. Of the 5 or 6, describe who paid you the most money.
A business owner.
A business owner. Okay. Where was he at?
He was actually in Bountiful.
The Land Bountiful. Okay. Bountiful is a great spot. Business owner. And how much was the contract?
25,000.
Nice. Okay. Tell me about your smallest contract of the 5 or 6.
Smallest contract, just like who it was, or
It just describe, like, where was it?
it was in Spanish Fort. It was just 500. It was like a little repair.
Okay, $500 roof repair. And who was it though? Was it a business? Was it a residential? Okay. Okay. So, gauging from 6 or 5 or 6 clients, we have one who is a homeowner in Spanish Fork, $500 in revenue. We got another one in the Land Bountiful, business owner, $25,000 Was it out of business or was it for a home?
It was out of business.
Out of business. Okay. So which one was easier to fulfill?
Yeah, it was actually the business.
The business was actually easier. Okay.
'Cause you can climb
I'm
the
not
roof.
surprised.
Yeah.
You can climb on the roof. You don't have to run through any weird stuff. Okay. All right. So if you were to pick, would you like 10 more of these or 10 more of these? 10 more of the bountiful. Okay. So what do we just learn about Cedric and his avatar? He does not want to attract more of these. He wants to attract more of these. Now, were there any residential ones that felt like they were good, quick, in and out, you made some money?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that one.
That one was actually the same house.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So the system we ended up just replacing it.
Okay.
And then instead of on the roof, we brought it back to the ground.
Awesome.
So they didn't have to go through.
And that was a quick in and out. You just changed the
They
unit.
just left it. They didn't even want anybody to touch it. So
All right. Okay.
put one on the floor.
And what was that contract like? All right. Love it. Okay. Also Spanish Fork, homeowner. Okay. Very different. Totally different avatar. But you got it because you did the $500 repair? So you did the $500 repair that got you that bigger contract. Okay. Now he just confused me. Thoughts on the avatar there? Do you do a bunch of small paid work to attract bigger contracts? If you do a good job on the servicing of the small thing, then you get the bigger contract. What do you guys think? Who should he be focusing on? He's a month in. Need more data, doesn't he? Okay, but homeowners in Summit County, I promise you, it's a change of pace.
I feel like I might be tunnel vision here.
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to get out and start.
It is so worth the drive up there to start talking to people up there. It's fascinating. Okay, so that's avatar discussion there. All right, Gabby, let's talk about yours. We got queso buyers. What you described as an avatar here, you kind of described the same person in 3 different ways. So is your buyer the end client or is your buyer a store? A distribution channel?
Right now, it's a person, but my end goal, my vision is to be a store.
Okay.
Costco, grocery markets.
So why would you not just jump to a store?
That's why I'm here.
Okay.
I can get mentored on how to do that.
Okay,
So I
perfect.
know how to do that.
Thank you. Thank you for being humble on that. Because let's talk about that together as a group. Let's talk about her avatar. Her avatar, so she makes an amazing cheese queso that is great for salsa combos. It's great for chips. It's a dip thing. It's a, describe it to us. Help us.
So it's a homemade, think of Velveeta or but homemade white cheese with flavors. You can use it as salsa to smother your food.
Yeah.
You can. I've actually created a menu. I have my recipe, but I have my favorites.
So you have menus?
I have menus, but I want to focus on the cheese.
Okay.
It's a cheese avocado. You can microwave it, or you can
Reheat it on a stove or.
put it on the stove and
Okay.
you can use it as a sauce. And you can use it as a dip. You can use it however you want.
Love it.
Have multiple uses.
And because of her cross ethnicity, she's trying to connect Mexican queso with other cultures' flavors.
Yes, I want to make it a cheese sauce that people can use as a sauce or as an
I love it.
addition to any dish. That
What kind of other cultural flavors have you played with? Like, I'm curious. You talked about this last time, and I was super curious.
Right now, I have chorizo, spinach,
Okay.
beans, jalapenos, plain, and I'm playing with a little bit of sweetness with guava, pineapple.
Oh, interesting.
It's
You're going Islander a little bit.
yes, it's a little more tropical flavors.
Dude, You got to hit the poly market with the queso product, right? Dude.
The pineapple one is really good with the rice or whatever dish they're eating. If they have a pineapple sauce, it's pretty good. Especially
Yeah, I like where that's going.
What's out there already is my question, because I literally bought queso last night at Winco, and they only have the Winco brand, the Tostitos brand, and then if you go to the Mexican section, they have one more gourmet brand, but that's it.
What is called at the Mexican?
I don't remember the name of the brand, but it just seemed like a very deficient category.
Yeah, it does seem like it.
I've done a lot of research
So
with
many
my
brands.
competitors, and I think I'm pretty confident I will
Hit it good.
dominate the market on the cheese stuff.
Who are they and what are they doing right now?
Okay.
Are they already in the places you want to be?
No, they sell it just bottled and with a lot of additives, and so mine is it. I want to bottle it in glass jars and sell it
Okay.
refrigerated. So
And you want to sell it bulk, you want to sell it refrigerated. Is that right?
yes.
Okay. So the way that I see this happening is we're gonna now move this conversation into kind of the next stage, because you really have an avatar of the end consumer, and then you have an avatar of the stores that will sell it.
Right.
So you need distributors.
Yes.
Now, I've seen a lot of people build a product like yours who spend way too much time on the direct consumer, and they fail to put any attention on the distribution. But the minute they start to feel like, okay, I know my brand, I can go to distribution, they do it and they get it. And they're like, why didn't I do this 2 years ago? So what we're going to try and do for you is we're going to try and help you speed up the process of getting to that point. And we're going to try and help Cedric over here speed up his time from learning the pains of Utah County and the joys of higher spend with higher quality products. Because here's the other part that happens, at least happened to me. Whenever I sold in the Utah County market, I had to sell a lesser quality product. And I had to go back and repair it more frequently than a high quality product I could sell elsewhere. Kind of sucks.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you think I should focus more on finding distribution and a place to bottle it and talking to big markets to sell it once it's there, then do advertisements of customers who will find it there?
We're gonna talk about doing both together. So we're gonna map your client journey now, and we're gonna map your client journey. And Trey, we're gonna tie yours in as we connect the dots for these two. Okay, this is gonna be fun. So client journey. What do I mean by client journey? It all starts with a lead, right? Where are you getting the lead, and what kind of lead do you want to have? We talked about Cedric, and we have deficiency of data right now because at first it felt like we don't want any more of those ladies in Spanish Fork spending $500 for repair. We just want the guys in Bountiful who have a business who need a rooftop repair, right? I guess what I initially thought. That was my first knee-jerk reaction. Both of them are totally different clients.
Yeah.
One commercial, one residential housewife who said, oh, I need a repair. And then she ended up changing out the whole unit.
And I would say though, but the odds with the one in Spanish Fork, if I had to say throughout my whole time of doing it, it's almost 1 in a million. Because
so you got lucky.
You know, it was a friend, kind of like a friend referral.
Yeah.
Of somebody who is. But if you had to take it like that, the percentage of that's almost like a golden client.
Okay.
Like one.
So you're not expecting that to happen, but it could happen, but you're not expecting it to happen.
But not, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about Gabby for a second. Because Gabby, ultimately you want distribution. And we talked last Friday, you were here. We talked about in our CPG meeting about going direct to consumer and the benefits of that. There are huge benefits of that. And so I do think that while we need to land distribution, we also need to have a quick, easy way for anyone you talk to order your product and get it shipped to them. So I think that you have to focus on that first, and then we get to distribution shortly after. The lesson I want to teach you is don't waste time thinking I have to get to this many units on online sales before I can go to distribution. That's my opinion. And let's talk about, if anyone wants to challenge that, I would love you to challenge me on this, because I want to have a discussion that's going to help these 3 people on the couches grow their businesses this month, right? Yeah, Trey.
So I have a question. Go to like the farmers markets and see what the other competition is like there.
Not yet, because I haven't registered my business. I just acquired my kitchen manager's certificate a couple of weeks ago in the food handlers.
Food handlers.
I was just doing it out of the home. I've done baby showers.
Yeah.
Breaks at my work meetings.
Unlike the cheap queso I bought at whatever last night.
Winco.
My wife last Wednesday bought fancy queso at the Orland Farmers Market, but that was all gone, so that's why I had to.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah. Farmers markets are great. It's a great place to get awareness. I wish that Rachel was here. She has the Moon Butter Company. She is exceptionally awesome at taking her Moon Butter everywhere she goes. I was traveling to Lake Powell a couple weeks ago, and we stopped in Hanksville. Has anyone ever been to Hanksville, Utah? It's literally middle of nowhere. Like, it is a junction of dead highways that connect only during summertime when people are going to Lake Powell. And it is like literally no man's land. I walk into the gas station and I see this massive display of Moon Butter right by the door. I'm like, freak, Rachel, you are the best. She brings that stuff everywhere she goes. And she goes on little road trips all through the state of Utah, just setting up stands in little boutiques, little gas stations, little hole in the wall places to get brand recognition. And she's getting recognized, but she, in my opinion, has failed in 2 main ways. I'll tell you where she thrived. What she did well is she brings it everywhere she goes. She talks about it everywhere she goes, and she's good at making it pretty efficiently. What she was bad at is showing herself on social media, because she had the right look, she has the right stuff. She just was not connecting directly with her consumers in a way that was so easy to do. So I smacked her around about that, and she's finally starting to do it, and it's starting to work really, really well. I love Rachel. I love her business. And I just think that had she done this months earlier, when I told her she needed to do it, she would have picked up more traction. But here's what she did great. Here's what I love what she did. Rachel did an amazing job of finding distributors right away. The reason she was in that gas station is she was trying to hit chains of stores. She was trying to hit people that own more than one location that would say, hey, we really like this product. Can you put it in all 5 of our stores or all 10 of our stores? And within just a few months, she was able to go from 0 stores to, I think she's in over 150 stores right now. She's crushing it. And now she's starting to do direct consumer on social media. She went kind of backwards from a lot of people, and other people like Alex on his ice cream bars. Alex spent a long time over formulating and not enough time getting distributors lined up to take his product. And so what we're going to try and solve for you today is your client journey. Where are they going to see you? How are they going to buy? And then where can they buy? And then how do you repeat that process again and again and again? For you, is how do you determine which is your favorite client to service, and then move into that market directly and stop wasting time on stuff you don't like doing. Okay? So they're 2 slightly different iterations of the same problem we're going to solve though. So Gabby, let's continue diving into this thing. So we have direct to consumer. A client is going to see that you have a solution. Okay? First of all, they're not going to know you have a solution unless they know they have a problem. Okay? So we're going to talk about the client journey. I'm going to go top to bottom here. First of all, people buy because they want to solve a problem. His client bought because she needed a repair. And then he's like, yeah, your unit kind of sucks. It's probably going to break again in 3 months. So you probably should buy a new unit. Is that kind of how it went? Okay. They need to know they've got a problem. I've got an event coming up. I need to entertain some people. From what you described, these are your people. They need something yummy they can throw on the table and have it really wow them with how cool they are for finding this unique flavor, right? So they've got a problem. Your people have a problem. The better you can make awareness that there's a problem out there. And who has the problem? Pick the one that you want to know has the problem. As for a store distributor, the problem might be, holy crap, we only have 2 options of queso on our shelf. I mean, he went to Winco last night, which is a huge grocery store, and they only had 2 options. That's a problem for a store manager thinking, I mean, stores have buyers who are like, yeah, dude, we got no representation on this thing. If we only had more of this thing, we could sell more of them. They want to sell more stuff, right? So for a store, they're looking for some good options of what they can have. So that's their problem. These guys' problem is, I need something tasty. I need something fun. I need something else for chips. Convenient. Maybe it has shelf life. I don't know, how long can it last in the fridge?
As of right now, about 12 days.
Okay.
It depends on how I process it, bottle it. If I add
Chemical preservatives.
preservative. I know there's a permit I have to get from the Food and Drug Administration to add it. I've done a little research, but I'm not sorry sure how.
I gotcha.
But if I bottle it in glass and seal it and refrigerate it, then I don't need to add it.
Oh, perfect. So 12 days from the time they open the bottle. That's not a bad. That's not. I wouldn't add preservatives because everyone's checking the bottle. They don't want to eat preservatives.
So if I do that, I need to put a whole list of ingredients. I just need to add the
Speaking of nastiness,
and calories.
I went golfing with my sons last fall, like 3 of them, and one of them like shoved a bunch of Lunchables, like the Crustables. You know those I'm talking about, those Uncrustables, yeah, peanut butter jelly things, and he stuck like 4 of them into the bottom of my golf bag, and I didn't golf all spring. I went out to my golf bag, and there were 4 Uncrustables in the bag. I pulled them out, and I was expecting to see them just like hairy with mold and just disgusting. They look the same. And one of them even had a tear in the bag. It wasn't moldy. It was still squishy, and the peanut butter and jelly was still soft. I thought I was going to throw up. I was like, I'm never going to touch one of those again. Whatever they stuck in there, it was not peanut butter and jelly or bread. Yeah, all chemical. Maybe I was expecting to see something gross, and I was grossed out by the fact that it wasn't gross. I mean, that was last fall. Like, it was disgusting. Sat in my garage all winter long. Anyway, so here's the problems for these people. Here's the problem. And there's probably, what other problem might a store owner have? Short shelf life. What's that? Visibility. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So now we start coming up with pain points for these avatars. We'll get to yours in just a second. The problem, and then agitation. Isn't it frustrating when you're throwing a party that you can't find something fun and tasty to set out on the table when your guests arrive? That's a pain point. The agitation could be, it gets worse. And then what you did set out ends up running out before everyone gets there. I don't know, something like that. There's always a problem that has an agitation. You want to make it feel worse for the person. When you guys pay attention to ads or when you watch a movie, how many of you like to watch movies? Okay, everybody likes a good movie. What's the first thing that pulls you into a movie? The problem. If a movie, what's a good movie someone's watched recently?
Michael.
Huh?
Michael.
Oh, Michael. Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Okay. Yeah. How do they suck you into that movie?
Dad kinda, you know,
The dad was kind of abusive.
but
Yeah.
like this great pop star kind of thing. So how does he overcome that?
Right?
You know the
It's-
ending, but you don't know the beginning.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they start with a pain point that sucks you in. Oh, I had no idea that happened to Michael. That really sucks. And then they make it worse. They agitate the problem. And then they leave you with a message of hope. A message of hope. He ends up being a pop star at some point in his future. He ends up being on this TV show with his brothers. He ends up being on at Disneyland or whatever. I didn't watch Michael because I personally can't stand him. So I couldn't get myself to go watch him. I heard it was a great movie. We can make anybody look really good in a movie. I don't know. I have a hard time with that one. Anyway, so I know that's controversial. Problem, agitation. There's a message of hope, though. With your queso, it's like, hey, guess what? We, let's see. It's okay. You can store our product for 3 months before you open the bottle. 2 months. So stock up. Buy 3 flavors at once because they last 12 days after you open the bottle, right? That solves the problem of I need something tasty and fun, and then I wish I could store it in my fridge and not have to go out and buy it right before the event, right? So stock up with multiple flavors, whatever it is. Now, with Cedric over here, we've got something similar. Let's go into his problems. I don't want to climb on my roof. I want to run my business.
Another one was I called 3 guys, but you're the only one that came
Oh,
quick enough.
that is the name of the game in your business. I mean, HVAC, the faster you can respond, the better you're gonna score. Okay, so there's those problems, which come with other pain points of my kids were freezing last night, or my house was so hot we had to open all the windows, and then I had bug problems, right?
The other one with the Bountiful Gym was medical equipment.
Oh,
It was
interesting.
overheating.
Oh,
They didn't have enough, to
that's crazy.
cool that down, so they needed to upsize their ductwork.
That's a beautiful problem to solve. Okay, so the message of hope for you is I respond as soon as you call, or I guarantee a response in 1 hour from you calling. Something like that is a great message. You'll see almost every HVAC guy that's big and is growing has some kind of guarantee that they respond within a certain amount of time. That's for that avatar. That's for the residential housewife. If you're a business guy and you're going after commercial business, different pain points for the commercial guy. You don't want your employees complaining that the room is too hot, they can't work. How much would it cost you if you had to send everyone home today because they were burning up at the office? That's happened here at the iHub. We actually have like 4 units that have gone bad. We actually need to talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, seriously, we actually are dealing with that right now. So, so different pain point, but the model is the same. The client journey is going to be different for you than it is for her, but the client journey gets solved by building awareness of the problem, giving them a message of hope that you know how to solve that problem, and then we jump into how you solve it. And I always like to add 3-step process. How you solve it and 3-step process. These can go,
Gotta meet the animal delivery guy.
get over there. This can go in 2 different orders. It doesn't matter. But when you're talking to a client, you always have to guide them to an easy solution for their brains to comprehend. Call me. I give you a quote. We do the install. It sounds so super easy, but that's what our brains like to process. If he didn't tell me the 3-step process, I'm going to be thinking, he's going to give me a quote. He's going to call me 3 times. We're going to reconnect at the house. We're going to have to call my husband. We're going to have to do all these things, right? That sucks. That's a horrible process. But if you just line it out, it's so easy to solve. In your case, Gabby, your 3-step process looks like throw in the fridge, let it sit for 3 months, use it when you need it. Like order, stick in the fridge, pop it out when you need it. Quick, easy, fun. Ready when you are. Right. So 3-step processes are really, really useful in almost all parts of marketing and messaging and in your sales process. When someone's brain can go from, we just started an engagement to, I see where I'm going to finish with you, they stop wondering in their head and they literally feel like, I could do this journey with you. This is going to be easy. I like that we don't have to sit and go back and forth 5 times before I get my stuff fixed, right? For you, it's an easier journey to sell. Take me home, pick 3 flavors. I'm good to go for the next few weeks, right? The problem with, yeah. And I'm curious to see how they go. Some salsas, all salsas are kind of the same way though. Like you can put it on the shelf and in a jar and not open it for a month or 2, right?
Well, this is a dairy product, so it might be a little different. I need to kind of play with it and
Yeah.
feel it, and I guess I'm just gonna test it. See.
We've got another girl here that does Thai curries that you should talk to. She's, Eddie, you remember her name?
Thai curries.
Yeah, she does a Thai curry in a glass jar. So good. Oh, we need to make sure she's, hey, Brindley, will you remember the Thai curry at the next CPG event? We need to make sure she's there. Yeah, it's the, what is her name? I can see her face. I can taste her curry. It's so good. It's really, really good. But she does it in a glass jar, and you can let it sit on the shelf. And it has, it has coconut milk, so it doesn't have dairy.
Does it sell refrigerator or just in the?
She sells it in the jars, and it just sits on the shelf until you open it. I mean, I think it's got a 3 or 4 month shelf life though, before you have to open it. But she would be really good at. Will you make a note of the curry girl, and I will make sure to get you her name. She's amazing. She's super fun. Okay. Once you have a 3-step process, you have to have a checkout. Now, the checkout can be part of the how you solve it. And oftentimes these 2 are together. Checkout, if you make it too hard to check out or buy an order or make a deposit or do whatever, it's just a pain in the butt. You have to be quick and easy. Even if you have to pay a credit card processing fee, it's worth it to get the money right then than to wait for a check, right? For you, that's not really a concern. You let the stores sell it for you, and they buy it at wholesale. Right. So these are sometimes combined, but the next step, I love this part. What happens if they do, and what happens if they don't? This is really important. it reiterates to them that the whole reason they landed on your page, the whole reason they're talking to you at their house, the whole reason that they're doing anything with any of your businesses, they had a problem to begin with, and you have a solution to that problem. And if you have a solution to the problem, they're going to stay on your page till they figure out, okay, you can solve it for me. Okay, this sounds easy. The checkout is easy. And if they do, they're going to live a happier life. And if they don't, they're going to still be dealing with whiny kids or I'm sending my employees home because the office is too dang hot, right? So the what happens if they do, what happens if they don't are critical steps at the end of any offer page or even a sales process. Yours is a longer sales process than hers. Kind of. She's dealing with stores. The stores have a journey that's different than their buyers. We run into this problem a lot when people come to us to raise money for their business. And the reason that I'm saying it this way is many people come to our fund here at the iHub and they pitch our fund for some capital. And the problem is they think we're the client. So they explain to us their problem, agitation, but they never address my problem as an investor. I've got a different set of problems and they never address it. Even when we tell them, you kind of like, what's in this for me? What's my return going to look like? How soon am I going to get my money back? You know, all those are my questions. Those are my concerns, but they're just telling me what their clients are worried about. So know your audience is the key thing, which goes back to this ICP thing. When Cedric is talking to a buyer in Utah County, a housewife with a bad air conditioning unit, he doesn't want to tell her about a warranty program for businesses to get a quarterly checkup that is going to, go towards buying a new unit in 5 years. She doesn't care about that. But the business owner's like, yeah, dude, I know in 5 years, if this blows up again, all my employees are going to be pissed because I didn't solve it better than I did the last time. Right? So the pain points are different. The story is totally different. So he has to be able to solve the pain for whoever he's talking to. You need to solve the pain, whether you're talking to a consumer directly or you're talking to a store buyer. Store buyers don't care that people are worried about their party. They care, is this going to move off my shelf? I need more options. Are you a bright color that might attract people to this section of the shelves? Like, you got to almost spend some time in the store thinking about what would you want to see if you were because in stores, they have people that manage this aisle. That's my aisle. I'm responsible for everything that moves off the shelf in my aisle. If nothing's moving off my aisle, that means I'm doing a bad job managing that aisle. And that's literally how stores work. So if you think about their problem, you can solve it better for them. The consumer is never going to care as much about the color, the packaging as much, as long as they know you're solving their problem. But these guys have a different set of problems than these guys. So don't sell them down the same client journey as the other because they're different problems. For you, again, commercial guys are way different. When I had my audio video company, one of the smartest moves I made was we were doing all residential. And I started hosting lunch and learns for architects. I had no clue the architects were going to care about audio video because audio video is not something that's part of code, and they didn't care to draw those details into a house plan or a commercial building plan. I went into it thinking I'm going to go talk to architects about residential, and after 3 lunch and learns, I learned about commercial. And once I learned that there were commercial buyers who were like, they lean on the architect more than a contractor, my eyes were open. I started doing 3 to 5 lunch and learns a week. And I lived in architects' offices trying to get them to let us do the low voltage engineering for every system in their buildings. Security, surveillance, card access systems, even controls for HVAC. We did all the designs for that. It game changed our business. It's crazy. As much as I loved residential, that business still exists today. They do like 10% of their work is residential. It's all commercial now. Just saying. But that's because the guys that bought it from me didn't want to deal with annoying wives and obnoxious guys that have way more money than they know what to do with. Like, they are a different avatar. Like, they're annoying, and you have to know their personality type. And if you don't know how to work with them, it really kind of sucks. So I was really good at dealing with rich people. The guy that bought it from me hated it and just wanted to go all commercial. But the door was open for both. We got a contract for all of City Creek. When they built all the residential units in City Creek, we had the contract to do every low voltage wire in all those units. It was pretty cool. Miles and miles.
Because I usually do mostly I do finals. And
Yeah.
when they call me at the very end, everything that was behind the sheetrock and the bed, it stays there. So I'm starting to get builders and contractors to come in between bills right after the electricians get the wood out. Right
That's smart.
Right after the drywallers get the dust out before the paint. So I'm now doing like lots of cleans.
That's so smart.
Great that you say that.
No, it's so smart. And it's like, what it did for our business was it got us in to solve the problem before it was a problem, because they know it will be a problem. You know what I mean? And so the smartest HVAC guys I know are not the guys that go to do emergency repairs. They're the guys that go ahead of time and say, hey, congrats on the new home. You're not going to hardly need to do anything for the next 2 years, but we're still going to come every quarter and change your filters. And it's only going to cost you X dollars a month. And that way, when you need to replace your unit, you've already paid for it. Like, that's a great program that you can implement as an HVAC guys. For you, and let's go back to your cheese, because we've got to solve your cheese problem here. You've got these types of things where you can come into these relationships in the stores and say, every time you order from us, we are going to physically go to that store and check to see how it's been placed and make sure that it looks as good as we think it should look. Now, not many people are willing to do that. And you don't have to do that, but that's an idea that if their problem is our guy managing that row may or may not do a good job. But if you can see that they didn't do a good job, you can make suggestions to them. Hey, you know what? I think if you placed it here, it might catch more eyeballs and people will come down the aisle to look for art, because ours is bright. You look at the row, nothing is sticking out. Nobody wants to come down a row that's nothing sticking out on. We will give them good eye attention and it will pull them into the row where they'll buy more stuff. Like, honestly, those are conversations that good vendors have. The fact that Rachel was right by the checkout stand of a gas station in Hanksville with moon butter, I actually took a picture of it because I thought I was so proud of her. I was like, oh my gosh, Rachel, you're the best. It's hilarious. She is killing it because she pays attention to those things. She knows what their problems are. If she was stuck on the back aisle somewhere, no one would buy her moon butter in that gas station. But she's adding value to the gas station by having a fun, different product, and it's right next to the checkout. It's cool. I won't find it, but I have it. So anyway, how does this help us with our client journey? What are your thoughts about this flow? This is an offer page flow. Do you think this makes sense for you as a buyer? You are all consumers. When you think of the last thing that you bought online, did any of these things stick out to you as, yeah, I've seen that before and that worked? Every one of them does, right? Yeah.
It'll be that same flow, but it's spread out. So by the time I finally get to the landing page, it's just a 3-step process, But like the problems and the advertising.
Totally.
It's just interesting.
Totally. Thank you. No, and you're exactly right. We did this exercise with Cutler a couple months ago where we went through his client journey, and here's what his biggest problem was. He sells a men's prostate product, and it's a 3-pack of pills, and it helps older men with prostate problems control their prostate problems better. And so his problem was that there's different avatars for him. He's got the older guy in his 60s. He's got the young professional who is embarrassed. He's got like all of them have slightly different pain points. And he was sending all his ads to the same landing page to check out. He spoke about it at the thing, right? And so here's what happened. This is the same thing with you, Gabby. If you go into the store and start naming off these pain points of your buyers, that doesn't help. That doesn't trigger a, okay, she gets me signal. So you're doing the same thing Cutler was doing. He got their attention and then he sent them to the wrong message. It's got to be consistent. So when you have an ad or a billboard, or in Cedric's case, a Google My Business listing, he can put a Google My Business listing or a Facebook ad in all the areas he wants to be in and just say, is the heat getting to you? And then he sends them to an offer page for a heater. That's not going to drive, right? So if the ad doesn't match the page they land on, that's a problem. If Gabby created a QR code on her bottle that said scan for our recipes, and then it went to an About Me page, would anyone be satisfied? They would just immediately go, oh, this company sucks. I would. But if she had a menu page that went to an app download that they could now create queso recipes on the fly, that's kind of cool. How many of you own a Traeger in this room? I figured you would. Nobody else owns a Traeger? Oh, you guys. It is a game changer for barbecuing. But the Traegers have an app. I cook on my Traeger regularly, and every time I do, I go to my app. Why? Because I got my favorite recipes tagged in the app, and it gives me directions, and I can turn on and off my grill, and I can like there's so many little cool things, right? Am I wrong, Cedric? Okay, we're there. So if it's easy, and if the pain point here matches the page, people are more likely to convert. The moment that the pain point started to match the offer page, his conversions to sales more than doubled. Only making that one change. So what I like to do in the marketing flow that guides me into my sales process is I like to qualify or segment the lead. So segmenting a lead is critical in your conversion process. And what I mean by that is you're going to have some leads. It goes back to this, but you're going to have some leads that have different, that come from a different source. So they're going to be different by source, meaning where did they see me? Did they see me on Facebook? Did they see me on which ad in Facebook? Did they see me on at the store? Which store? Because then you can know, oh, they shop at Costco. I know that 80% of my store sales come from Costco. Where are you going to put your attention? More Costcos, right? But you don't know these things until you start tracking these things. So for you, Cedric, you need to keep in your, if you have a CRM, you need to get one. If you don't, you need to track, where are these leads coming from? Where did the lady in Spanish Fork come from? A referral. Okay. Where did the guy in Bountiful come from? Yeah, where did the guy in Bountiful come from?
General contractor.
Okay, contractor referral. Did you do anything for the contractor afterwards?
Yes.
You did. What did you do for him?
I don't even know if that's legal, but like some big bag kind
Dude,
Yeah.
totally legal.
Yeah.
It's called an affiliate program or referral program. Absolutely legit. CRM? Okay, so CRM is a customer relationship management tool. It's a foundational piece if you're going to do online marketing. And it might be for you as easy as a Shopify store. Shopify can act as a CRM for a product like yours. In fact, that's a great place to start. Do you have a Shopify store yet? Okay, you need to get set up on a Shopify store. Does anyone have an affiliate link for Shopify? Okay, well, nobody's getting the kickback. I was trying to give somebody an opportunity here. You need to go to Shopify and set up a store. Because the minute you set up a store on Shopify, you can start getting all the stuff in line to start accepting payments. Okay, CRMs are generally going to help you process payments. For you, you don't need Shopify. You need something different, like a Go High Level. And there's a lot of Go High Level templates for HVAC guys. Makes it easy. You can do phone call tracking. You can do text backs. You can do all the stuff, right? There's some really creative ways to do that. There's a guy that is usually here that I'll introduce you to him. He can help you set up a really cool HVAC template for you. For you, Shopify is where you want to start. Once you get your Shopify set up, you can send a lead to that Shopify store, and actually Cutler would be a good guy to go hang out with. He sits over there in the back. Cutler. Yeah, you want to talk to Cutler.
He's really handsome.
He's real. Oh, he's really handsome. He may be a little young for you, but I don't know. I know you're only 30. So, woo, today? 2 days ago. I'm so jealous. All I have are grandpuppies. It's not fair. All right. Talk to Cutler. Talk to Alex. Ice Labs. Remember, he brought the ice cream over last time. Okay. And then you also want to talk to Rachel and the curry lady. As soon as I remember her name. Gosh, I feel so embarrassed. I hope she's not watching this live stream. What's that? Cutler does the prostate pills. Yeah, he was up on the, yeah. Cutler has a Shopify store, and that's all he uses for his CRM. But it literally, you need that, and then you need to consider your Shopify store. All right, sorry, your TikTok store. Because who in this room thinks that she would do a great job mixing up her cheese queso on a TikTok, talking about it? Would you guys stop? I would stop and watch her make queso,
A little link to go and buy
and then a link to go and buy it.
I'm not a big social media user, and I've never posted, and I
That was Rachel's complaint too. I don't do social media. I don't do. No, I don't want to hear it anymore.
You won't hear it yet, but so I can sell on TikTok.
Directly on TikTok. You can literally be mixing it up. Even if it's not the stuff you're selling. Yeah, even if it's not the stuff that you're actually selling. Like Rachel has a co-packer, so she no longer makes her stuff. But she does it for social media. It's like ballerina farms. Have you heard of ballerina farms?
I heard it for the first time from you, and I went and did research, and that's very interesting. I liked it.
She's crazy. She's awesome. I mean, she's crushing it. But why do people buy all of her expensive, overpriced stuff? Because they see her make it on the farm with all her kids, and her husband loves her.
People like to buy, people want to be like this.
That's exactly why they buy. I had a guy from Phoenix when he found out where I lived, he's like, "Oh, you're right next to the Ballerina Farm store." I said, "How would you know? How do you know that?" And he's like, "Cause she's the only one with bone broth that I like to drink." And I'm like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Oh yeah, her bone broth is so creamy, it's so good, just made straight from her dairy cows." I said, "Okay, dude, I'll buy you 2 packs."
I have a question. Before I reach out to stores or distributors,
Yes.
would they look into how much validation or how much popularity my product has? Or
Depends on the store you start with.
okay.
So there is a strategy there in Utah. Are you familiar with Harmon's? There's one on 800 North in Orem. That's a good one to go check. They have other locations. I'm not sure where they are, but they're in Utah County. And Harmon's is a great local grocery store where they love to experiment with new products. And that's where Rachel started. That's where I think Alex is in there. There's a bunch of them that go to kind of the Harmon's is the place first. And so that's a great place to start. They'll also tell you what you need to have ready in order for them to want to buy from you.
Okay. 'Cause, even if I bottled it, let's say at home, I need to have a label with the right ingredients.
Right.
calories, and I don't know how to do
Yeah, you need to figure out how to do that first.
that. Okay.
So go to AI and get a checklist.
Okay. I have a logo now, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah, but AI will help you figure out what you need to get ready to go to market through a store.
Okay.
But you're also going to need that for your online sales too, if it's food.
Right.
Otherwise, you could probably get shut down somehow.
That's why I haven't
Okay.
done any of that. 'Cause I don't want
Okay.
to-
So pick an AI model. Who's going to give her an AI model that she should use? What do you think?
ChatGPT is the best for brainstorming.
Okay.
If you need like help creating content or like hard coding, Claude is apparently the best.
Uh-huh.
And Gemini is the basic in between. I think,
That's an interesting perspective. Okay. Who else? What do you guys think?
Grok's good for analytical work. So if you gotta crunch something, it's
Grok?
Grok is good.
Grok's good for analytics. It's also good for social media testing because every tweet that's ever posted is in their database, and it's pretty good at saying what's trending in terms of this topic or that topic. Yeah, they do actually. An X tweet.
Okay. That's I'm checking more for brainstorming. Okay.
But GPT is also fairly biased, so you got to be a little bit careful.
I've seen some bias in all of them. I asked the same question to like 5 of them. What would be the best AI for this task?
Yeah.
Chat was like, oh, Chat's the best, and then Claude is second. Gemini's like, oh, Gemini's the best, and then Claude is second. And then Claude is like, oh, Claude's the best.
But Grok will tell you whether they suck
I
at
think
stuff.
Grok just said,
You like Grok?
I love Grok.
I can't remember what the question was.
I honestly don't use anything other than Grok. I've tried all of them. I keep coming back to Grok. I love Grok. It solves all my problems. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm old too, though. I'm an old guy. So that's the way I work. If I find something I like, I just hammer it till it doesn't do what I need it to, and then I'm done. Grok does it for me. What do you use?
I've been using Chat for brainstorming mostly just because I like that you can manage the context. But Grok's more candid.
Grok's more candid, and you can tell it how you even like to respond. I'm sure you can do it with all of them. But yeah, their art tools are amazing too. The graphics generation, crazy. Anyway, so back to client journey. So your next steps, are they clear?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about pipelines, because pipelines are critical for both of you. How are you tracking your pipelines? Are you tracking a pipeline? Okay, so let's talk about both those pipelines. Cedric, yours is easy. Okay, you just need to track. Okay, let's talk pipelines. Let's move. Is this helpful, you guys? Is this helping anyone else other than these two? You feeling good, Trent? Okay. So what should go in a pipeline? And this is part of your sales process. But let's talk pipelines for a minute. You want to know someone that you've contacted. How do you contact leads? Yeah, is this just all referrals, Cedric?
No, cold calling.
You're cold calling.
Yeah.
Who are you cold calling?
Pretty much every business. Or sometimes I just walk in,
Okay.
say, hey, who's the guy to talk to who handles like vendor approvals or have you had any issues? Then they'll give me their property manager or business manager or someone.
Okay. Okay, so walk-ins, cold calls, word of mouth, or referrals. Okay. And what do you do with those leads? Like you go in and you walk into an office, you walk out of that office. What do you do to follow up with them?
So yeah, I'll just call into whoever it is and just let them know that I'm a HVAC contractor in the area and I've done work for someone close to them or wherever. But also just trying to get my name out there.
Okay.
And I touch a little bit on some of the pain points. Because some of them will say, hey, you already had people that do this already for us.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, you know what? But have you ever ran into a time where you couldn't get a hold of them or couldn't? And they're like, yeah, we have. So are you open to maybe having a backup guy or? And then,
Okay. So if you goes to a follow-up stage, in your follow-ups you call. Okay. And then what?
and then try to set up, either not a soft close, but set up a meeting or potential pitch of an opportunity proposal.
Okay. So you need to do a proposal somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then what?
Hopefully close the deal.
You got close and you got maybe rework the bid. Do you have anything right now that you're looking at to see every one of those stages?
Do I have something that I'm
You can see every lead that you've talked in the last month and a half. Okay.
that does that?
That does that.
So that's why it's kind of weird for me. For the first time, I didn't know it was something that you could track. I just thought get them to the close, make the money, and then
Then,
that's why I'm here.
dude, this is why we're all here. Okay. So then you've got a whole nother customer service pipeline that comes after that. But here's what you got. If you looked at this whiteboard every day, and I don't care if it's a whiteboard or a scratch sheet of paper or a spreadsheet or a CRM, you need something. Yes, Via.
How would you, if you were acquiring a business
Yes.
and you have an existing customer base, maybe it's not even in a good setup like this,
Yes.
I guess more expensive, and where would you start? Get a business that's not growing? Just doing that, how do you start growing it and achieving
What I would do, I would start immediately with every client they're working with right now and just talk to them and say, what do you like about us? Why do you keep working with us? You'll find out after 3 interviews exactly where you need to get more clients from and why. They will tell you everything you need to know. That's a great question to ask. And honestly, for Cedric, that's an easy question to ask every contractor that hires HVAC guys. What makes a good HVAC guy for you? So I have a good friend who has a consulting business, and we like to hang out. And I go to his office, and every time I'm in his office, he has a massive whiteboard with something similar to this. In fact, he does them on like colored, he has little colored whiteboard things, and they're a little bit bigger than this. They're like that. They're like a white piece of like metallic. Hey, thanks for being here. And he writes the customer name on it. And then his whiteboard has these sections across the top of his whiteboard, and he just moves them. He's a very analog guy. Doesn't need to be a digital system, guys. For him, he literally sits in his chair every day and he just looks at that whiteboard. And if he hasn't moved people over, he pulls them off. Yeah, proposal, rework the proposal, or they're closed. Yeah. And your, Gabby, your pipelines look very similar with stores, except you might add something like, instead of proposal, do they allow me to do a display? Like, how many stores can you get a display into? Because then what you're going to find is if you do 10 store displays, that's going to convert to 4 stores putting you on the shelf. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to learn your own flow of what you need to track, because it's going to be slightly different. You're not going to rework proposals probably, but you're likely going to do a display, and then on the shelf, I don't even know what that was. And then more stores. You want to get that quantity number up as high as you can, because one store owner might have 20 stores or 100 stores, and you just start tallying how many stores you're in with that client. But you want to track it, and you want to track where each store is, because I promise you, your flow is going to look something like this. I know that Rachel worked hard at this. She would go do, in the evenings, whatever store would let her, she would have a little display in the store. She'd wear a little apron. She'd put it on crackers and let people taste it. You would just grab a bag of chips, let them dip, taste. Here's my stuff right here. And then they just buy. She did that a lot. She still does it a lot. And she loves to road trip. She's like all over the state. Like, she's all over the place. And you don't have to love to road trip, but you might have a niece or a sibling or a friend who'd be willing to go do a tasting display on the weekend. There you go. You're empty nested. Yes, you're in a perfect place. It actually is a perfect place for you, timeline wise. But track it. Because if you're not tracking it and you don't know how, holy crap, I have nothing on displays right now. And you're going to design a little display, like a little pop-up with place for your jars and 3 different flavors. And just think about what you want that to look like. And then make it. I mean, people aren't picky. It doesn't matter if it's cardboard. There's so many people in this room, like the newsflash guys in that office back there, or there's some really creative graphic guys. I'm trying to think of where they're at now. But there's several guys in here that could help you design a display that you could bring into a store. And Rachel and Alex, they all have these little displays. And you'll get to know them. We actually have a little siloed chat group for everyone in the kitchen on the Discord channel. And so you can start to chat with them about what they're doing for their displays, what they're doing for those things. It's really, really fun. Okay. So your pipeline is going to look different. But both of you need to have this somewhere. And like I said, I don't care if it's a Google Sheet. I don't care if it's a full-blown CRM. I'm happy to give you free access to Go High Level, because everyone in here needs it for the most part, and I don't make money on it. You can just use it. And it's a great CRM to start with. But CRMs, for you, Shopify, you need Shopify. For you, need, we'll talk later. Because there's a bunch of Go High Level guys in here. But this is where I would focus first. The next stage is focusing on customer service pipeline. Because both of you, once you get them to close, what's the next best way to get money out of those guys? Another job from them or a referral. Repeat, add stores. So then your pipeline is going to look a little different. You're going to have like a, you might have in your first column, new client. You're going to have onboarding. You're going to have maybe a Q1 survey, Q2, Q3, Q4. These can be done by phone. You can email them something. You could text something. Hey, how do you like my service? How's it going in your store? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? The more you communicate with your clients, the more they buy from you. Even if you're not doing a great job at the start, when they see that you care about what they think, they start to increase their purchasing. I had a guy on my podcast who was a huge customer service, like he had a big customer service consulting company. And he said, Todd, if companies only understood that if 40% of their sales and revenue is not coming from existing clients, they're not doing this right. Like 40%. In the case of my audio video company, 3 years after I sold it, I went and looked at their pipeline. They were all my clients that I got. Like it was literally 95% the same clients. And they just kept milking that cow. They probably still are. I pretend like I don't care, but I'm a little pissed because I had a contract to get paid for that stuff. Anyway, but this will help you get more repeat business. It is so hard to get a new client. It is so easy to continue to work with old clients. So much easier. Just keep giving them what they need and milk the cow, right? If a cow's not getting milked all the way, they leave your field and go to the next field. Because they will. They will leave you if you're not paying attention to them. Is this helpful?
Very helpful. Yes.
Okay. I want you two to get the most help out of this thing, but is this helpful at all to anyone else? Okay, good. Client journey is so fun. I love doing this for my own companies. I love doing it with my clients' companies. Mapping out what that person is. Is it the direct to consumer? Is it the stores? Is it in Utah County, Salt Lake County, Wasatch County? I'm telling you, I would attend Home Builders Association. Pick the right one. They're not all equal. I'm telling you, man, get up to Wasatch County or Park City. But when you start picking the right places, and first of all, you need to also identify whether you only do commercial or if you do commercial and residential. There's value in both. Depends on where you want to spend your time. And over the next 2 months, you need to think about all your residential clients versus your commercial clients and decide, I can't stand working with those kind of people anymore.
Well, that was funny. It's funny that you say this. This whole thing kind of going down yesterday. Yeah, I was at my wit's end.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, I had too many avatars. I was trying to please you, but I was just overextending myself because we were trying to tap into property managing, but they require a whole other thing, insurances and then commercial, whole other thing, and licensing, and
totally.
I felt like I wasn't managing it, but this is kind of identified where I need to focus.
Good.
Because where my revenue stream is, and I just never thought about it like that.
It's going to help you, I promise, because the avatars are so key. Because if you're trying to solve everyone's problems, you're solving no one's problem. But if you can pick 2 out of the 50 that you could attack and just hit them hard, you'll hit it. You'll penetrate what they want. For you, it's going to be really fun because you need to do both. You need to hit the consumers and you also need to hit the stores. and you're going to do it different ways. And, you know, Evelyn that was here, she's also from Mexico. Or no, she's from Peru. Where's she from? Yeah, that does the Spanish English training for, yeah. She's amazing at ideating stuff. She just has a hard time executing and getting sales done. She gets distracted real easily. Stay focused and don't lose sight on both of these. I really think you've got the right look, you got the right feel, you got the right vibe to go out online and say, look, I'm setting up a stand inside of Stan's Burger Shack in Hanksville because they love their queso. Check it out. You post that online and then you show yourself making it the next day, you'll start picking up an audience to this. It's crazy. And then get on these guys' videos over here. See the guys, oh, they're not there right now. They usually sit in this little section next to Ice Labs. He has like 5 million followers on YouTube. And if he talked about your queso in one episode, your Shopify needs to be ready. Like, he's your network channel for this. But he probably won't work with you unless you have your foundation set up of like. Exactly. Yeah.
What's his channel?
He does comedy. Yeah, he does like clean comedy on YouTube, and he like literally has like 4 million plus followers right now, and it's since. Yeah, hang on. No. I saw it up there the other day. I'll look it up. He's awesome though. He's very humble, but he's got a massive following. So yeah, you should connect with him. Because if you just occasionally pop up in his series and they're like, man, this queso is good. That's all you need. Anyway, you guys, is this lead journey?
Yes, this was very helpful because sometimes I'm at home and I think, what could I work on? How can I get started?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over the notes and kind of draw me a roadmap of what I need to focus on, like the evenings when I'm home or working.
Totally. We had a and just like going back to your business, like we had a real identity crisis at one point. We were probably 7 years into our company, and we were doing about 12 or 13 million in revenue, and it was so fun. But here was our problem. We had expanded from Park City to Vegas and Jackson Hole and little bits of Sun Valley. Why did we do that? Because Todd bought an airplane and Todd started flying everywhere. And I started saying, I can come to your house. Oh yeah, I'll be over there tomorrow. And we would just do stupid stuff like that. And so when you do stupid stuff like that, here's what happened. Our revenue went up. But then we got stuck having to do service orders and service calls on projects that were too far away, that it would cost us $500 to send someone on a plane to go down and service that thing. So every time they needed a speaker tweaked or a touch panel fixed or a whatever reset, it cost us thousands of dollars every time. So that's where we started losing. And we were like, we're more profitable doing 6 million, 7 million out of Park City than doing another 3 out of Vegas, another 2 out of Jackson Hole. Yeah.
Why not just set up like little hubs in the spots that you're at?
It makes sense and it sounds easy, but when we were doing the scope of work we were doing was like big projects. Like we would do like $1 million at each project. And they were just like, honestly, we did one that was like a $4 million project. It was awesome. And we had people live down there. We moved a couple guys down there, and we did do that. But then when the project is over, they wanted to move back to Utah, and so that project ended. They came back home, and then we still tried to milk that gravy train, and it wasn't as easy because we were servicing, we were doing service calls, we were doing anyway. It sounds easy, but it was really kind of a pain in the butt. What we found was that our whole pipeline for Vegas was Park City, because we were the only ones that would actually finish our projects. And so the complexity of the project was so high that that's where they were like, oh, you finished. And then they brought us down to Vegas because we could finish their house in Vegas. So it's kind of crazy. But anyway, so that's sales flow, sales cycle. Dude, have a seat. You got right here at the end.
Yes, and it's valuable enough. We needed to at least get the end, just finish the meeting. So
all right,
I feel bad.
Good. No, don't feel bad. So we just went through these two, both of their businesses and their whole client journey, and how that translates into marketing and messaging all the way through their sales cycle. Because if you can't lead the right avatar through a process that they understand, then they won't convert. And so biggest lessons for Gabby over here, who's a queso queen. Are you the queso queen?
Of course I am.
Okay.
I am the queen, the queso.
I thought so. She is the queso queen, and she has two main avatar types: direct to consumer and stores. She needs distribution. So we talked about the needs of each of those and how the problem is different, the message of hope is different, and the biggest problem most people have with a continual sales cycle is they tend to assume that what works for one avatar is going to work for every avatar, and it doesn't. The minute you get clear that their solution might be a little bit different, even though it's the same solution, you just have to pitch it a little bit differently to a business owner in Bountiful than to a Spanish Fork mom who had a heating, air conditioning emergency. Different message, different sales cycle, but at the end of the day, same solutions. You just have to stage it the right way so that it scratches their itch. And in sales, you don't close a deal with anybody unless you're doing what? You're solving their problem. And if you're not solving their problem, it doesn't matter if you solved 20 other people's problems. You know, when you walk into a restaurant and they've got all these like best of burger, best of whatever, it always makes me nervous because I was going in there for something totally different. And I'm like, well, are they good at the pasta? You know what I mean? Like, if they're not scratching my itch, I may not have a good experience. So in terms of client experience and in terms of sales process and marketing process, the client journey is what you need to think about. For you, we've talked about this. If you're talking to a school or you're talking to a dance teacher, they've got different pain points and they need to solve them a slightly different way, right? We good? Okay. All right. Hunter, any questions?
Yeah, but yeah.
Come on.
We'll have much later when I have like
Okay.
later.
All right. Process. Will you remind me here for a second? I just call you the nail guy. Huh? Tate. Got it. Okay, locked in. All right. Thank you. Yeah. You good? All right. He's a sales master, and he teaches sales. Like he is a sales guru, and I'm here to learn from him. We're gonna have him teach one of these classes in the near future, because it's good to hear from other people than Todd, Spencer, and Corbin. Fair?
That's fair, but we'll miss you.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, good. Any other thoughts, concerns, questions? Did we resolve everyone's? You clear on what to do next? You clear?
Yes, I'm very, I can picture exactly where I can start working on those.
Okay. And when I'll find out where Rachel is and when she's gonna be back in town. I know she got married and she went up to Oregon. I think she's coming back for the fall. I'll find out when she's back. You two will have a lot of stories to share. But even more so, I got to think of the name of the curry girl. Man, I'm so embarrassed. I can't think of her name. It's so yummy. Do you like Thai curry? I love Mexicans that like Thai curry. It's a beautiful cultural crossover. All right. Okay, you guys, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
I am barbecuing on Friday. I'm not sure the meat, but we'll find out. I'm ready to cook.